The locusts aren't doing all too well, but they're still in there. This isn't. The trap stands empty near the reeds. No insect sounds or movement around. Only the reeds' apprehensive hissing. The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good, now that's done. When do you think we will return to our impending apocalypse of a murder investigation? Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
He doesn't want to. But if there is one more cryptozoological runaround, he must force the investigation back on track. This better be it.
Hello, dear. Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him. I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
No, you don't have to do that. Enough of this fool's errand. Morel will do it. Or Gary. You have work to do. I've wasted enough of everyone's time.
Be real. Gary is not going to help with this.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Different? How?
Answering a question with a question, for example. Defensive isn't her usual style.
I'm not. It's not that. It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
And when a police officer asks, you must answer.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream?
Hunching her shoulders now. She seems even smaller than she is, like a sad young girl.
Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not. Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
No, at least I don't think I did, but Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the phasmid's existence that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief made me believe too. But now we're both getting old and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything. He's hiding. These things are tough on him. Matters of love, not violence or deceit. An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care. All qualities these two seem to share in abundance.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
You know, this reminds you of the Pericanassian theory of love. In essence, love is a relay out of death. Generation by generation, our love remains in our progeny. Lay some of that on her.
But if the dream comes to naught, what good is it? No, the thing is, I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived, on our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists, if I didn't tell him that story...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time. What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
A true believer. Sometimes I still see it too. The real memory of it, how it was there. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart. Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary. Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
No one can stop you from finding the phasmid.
Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road, Jamrock.
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
You too, sweetie. Thank you for everything, truly. Even though it turned out to be
A waste of time. A lie. A fool's hope. Say her lips moving in silence. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, the cold, coastal wind blows.
We should go too.
Somewhere out there, a kilometer to the southeast, a gust of wind shakes the felled building, rattling dusty windows, beckoning with strange coldness. Poor things. A few locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. The rest are piled in a heap in the corner. Poor things. The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. Poor things. Just dead and dying locusts. Poor things. Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some urban detritus, a bottle, and a dilapidated old comms tower.
I don't see it, Lieutenant W. Freighter. I don't see a person take a shot here and hit something there, in the whirling in rags. It's not possible to climb that ladder, and even if it were, why? There's no platform up there to aim from.
It does look extremely rickety, and wouldn't help much either.
To warm his hands before pulling the trigger? Perhaps, but anyone could have made this. The coast is specked with fire this time of year. Truthfully, this seems like a very poor choice to take a 1.2 kilometer rifle shot from. Visibility is awful. There's water vapor everywhere. I think we can rule out Biddable Prime, was it?
There, 1.2 kilometers over the cold water of the bay, through a thick snowstorm melting flake by flake in the waves, a glowing light on the third floor of the whirling in rags. With binoculars, you would see a young woman's shape move behind the glass, smoking, drinking, being happy and elated, without you, because you're here.
Those? A smoking assailant who favors Tumutiri to Astra or Joanne? Cigarette butts are everywhere. This is a common brand for all men.
Tumutiri was a Revacholian colony on Ilmaran. The suzerainty's population was mostly Ilmaran Areopagites. Oh, you do? The butts you saw had a silhouette of a boy wearing a coffee hat, a tobacco picker. This boy is the Tumutiri brand logo. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Juan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, a legendary cigarette from Grad.
Yes? I'm glad to hear it, Detective. I was wondering when we'd get to this very subject. If you ask me, it's high time for you to put the bottle away. Sober up, get back to basics. That would be my advice.
The lieutenant's quizzical expression gradually deepens into a frown.
So, what are we talking about then? Why are you pronouncing it like that gentleman from the Institute of Price Stabilité? You know what? Forget it. What specifically are you trying to assign responsibility for? Ah, now I understand. Next, I suppose you're going to tell me you need to form a committee to assign this responsibility? Fascinating. And here I believed your recent turn toward moralism was just an act. In any event, I am just a humble law official. I may work under the moral intern's umbrella, but I'm certainly not qualified to serve on any committee. You know who might be, though? That Mr. Villedron, the gentleman you met in the young man's apartment. If I were trying to get in touch with the coalition, I would start by seeking him out. But first you might need to speak with his young companion. Now, was there anything else?
There's some tear. 2 empty bottles. No.
A tragedy.
He shakes his...
Hello again. No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone. A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades, a cold sea behind this building.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with? I can wash it for you. But it's going to take about a half an hour. Think you can stay put for that long?
Hell yeah. No, we must run around ceaselessly. It would be torture to stay put.
I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day.
Well, hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do. Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you take better care of it than its last owner. Nay, I haven't seen anyone lately.
Because she's blind, which you seem to have forgotten.
Here's a sharp one.
She's being evasive. She knows something.
There was a murder in Martinez. She might be a suspect. We would appreciate your help.
Would you now? I know how this world works, and it doesn't work when people tell on each other. Ah, I should have known. This is yet another union mess. I'm not afraid of them, you know. We are not in the habit of being afraid around here.
Enough of this. She better start talking right now.
There's not much to tell. People come and go. Now, was there something else?
I see, ma'am. I hope you don't mind if we look around anyway.
You should look around your shack. Maybe she's rented it out to others too.
Tequila Sunset. Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Of course. Drink first, story later. Not much, but it will do. This last one is the most Martinet story I've ever heard. I've never heard it mentioned outside of here. At first, I thought it was a joke, to be honest. But I've been on the coast 9 months now, and in that time I've seen at least 3 expeditions come through, searching for something.
A shovel hits the sand somewhere behind the reeds, near an abandoned construction yard. The young men look over their shoulders suspiciously. The sound of their digging seems loud in the sudden silence.
No, Tequila. Most people already know where they live. It's guys like you and me that are the exceptions. Magic animals? No, man, this is serious stuff. Hey! Fuck you, Tequila. All kinds. I've seen archaeologists, gangsters, even a bunch of ad agency types. I'm telling you, Tequila, this thing's got a pull on certain kinds of people. You know, obsessive types. People with predilection. Some of those expeditions come back after a week or so, looking haggard and dejected. Others don't return at all. The first time I saw one of these expeditions, I thought they were fucking with me. There was no way it could be true. It was just too high concept, even for me.
Wait. There's no way. It can't be. Or can it?
I'm not even sure I should be telling you this story, to be perfectly honest. You're in a fragile state, and it might be too much for you to handle. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. But I'm warning you, it's pretty out there. Our story begins at a legendary design studio, right here in Martinez. There was this designer. His exact name is lost to history, but in life, he was a legend. Made it big in Aranya, where he did some real pioneering work on grotesque and sans serif typography. A fucking genius, man. That is, if he even existed. Who knows? It's an urban legend, after all.
He existed, all right. You feel it deep within your basal ganglia. I'm talking about...
Anyway, sometime later he started his own personal studio here in Martinez. And that's when he started working on some really wild stuff. I'm talking some glass-smooth, forward-looking design language, the kind of thing that would totally overthrow the old regime, design-wise.
A paradigm-shattering revolutionary?
But then something turned. You see, it's widely known that Nose candy and pioneer graphic design work go hand in hand. You know tequila, nose candy, the white railroad, party powder.
The kids on the streets also call it Snow Day.
Or Elysium gold. For the plateau on which most of the world's supply is grown and harvested, typically by slave labor.
Sinus salt, the white knight.
Can't see, for its popularity among the aristocratic class.
Along with a number of more banal street names. Blow, of course, but also flake, powder, pearl. Really, anything that's white will work. He's talking about cocaine.
Shit yeah, tequila. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got to understand, the work this guy was doing was so high concept that regular amounts of cocaine just weren't cutting it. By the end, they were bringing it in by the lorry load. Now, as you might imagine, snorting that much cocaine can't be healthy for a regular human, right?
Right. Wrong. Do it all the time. All day, baby.
Hey, tequila, pay attention. The story goes that one day he was balls deep in work on what he thought would be his pièce de résistance, an advert so minimal it contained neither text nor images, just pure white. Apparently the idea was too high concept even for this genius. He dropped dead right at his desk before he could finish. His last words are recorded to have been, "It's as white as a blizzard of cocaine." I know, tequila. I know. But the story doesn't end there. Supposedly, when they performed the autopsy, the coroner discovered nearly 1/4 kilo of coke jammed into his nasal cavity.
That's almost certainly anatomically impossible. Wrong again, nerd. Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. 250 grams of blow had accumulated in there over the years. We're talking high-grade Saramaritsian pure. Not that cut-rate shit your grandma does. There are those who believe the designer was buried with this 1/4 key of nose candy still lodged in his sinuses. That's what those expeditions are looking for.
The cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull. No. Wow! Here's the kicker. This designer, this lead designer of a world-famous design studio, was born in Martinez. A local boy, Martin Martinez. That's why he brought his studio here, back to where it all began. And that's why they buried him here, too. Perhaps right under Ab's pipe there. Or probably further down the coast, or in some yard in Martinez proper. A hidden mausoleum, no one knows exactly.
No, my grandma always told me his grave lay somewhere on the islets on the bay.
This is ludicrous and physically impossible. Sinuses can contain that amount of anything.
My only question is, where does one get a shovel?
The archaeologists say they want to put it in a museum, the gangsters say they want to sell it on the black market, and the ad agency guys say they're seeking inspiration.
Bullshit. They just want to snort it. But you could beat them to it, Harry. You could snort the magic skull cocaine instead.
I'm pretty sure they all just want to snort it, though.
And why wouldn't they, eh? Sounds like right strong stuff.
Don't listen to him or his grandma. He's just making things up.
No, my grandma told me. I've heard other people say it too. That it's underwater. Or no, maybe it was the storm sewers.
Or maybe it's in the air. Or in an ancient step pyramid offshore.
In a pyramid? Now that would be something.
They're pretty vague about it in general. The gangsters like to claim they're looking for the grave of a friend. with picks and shovels. The archaeologists act all official about it, saying they're conducting serious research. Honestly, I think they're not really scientists, just rich. The junkies, for some reason, are pretty upfront about it. They just say they're looking to snort some blow out of a dead man's nasal cavity.
Honest men on an honest quest. You should join them.
By now, I'd say I know about as much about it as anyone on the coast. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on just a minute. Finding it right now is literally impossible.
What?
For one, the way is blocked by that big lorry that says Delta Logistics Company on the side. You definitely have to search the area behind that lorry too. And second, outfitting an expedition like that is expensive. It'd have to be a big production to do the cocaine skull justice. You need new gear, people who know what they're doing, all kinds of provisions. It's just not feasible within the economic and temporal frame of our current setup. Matter of fact, unless a bunch of money just falls out of the sky, we might never know what's up with that skull.
I have to agree. We barely have what we need to solve the case we've got now. We can't afford to run around chasing after quasi-mythical pieces of drug paraphernalia. Besides, it would look extremely bad for the RCM to be caught up in something that has the word cocaine writ large on it. The PR is tricky on this.
Wait, maybe there's another way. Maybe up around the coast? Don't give up now.
Yeah, well, that's the reality situation for you. Who knows, though? Maybe someday we'll get our chance. Not that I can think of, currently. That might be the case. Yeah. My jacket?
A look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at you, then at his bottle, then back at you.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila? Rosemary, what the fuck is Tequila talking about?
Aye, that's the jacket you stole 2 weeks ago. From the kid who was making it with his gal on the beach.
That's disgusting. I've never done anything like that in my life.
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and girlfriend. I'm calling it. It's neurological.
That shit is so medium concept, I wouldn't touch it with a stick. But yeah, okay. I'm sure it looks great on you.
It's an okay jacket, if you're into that look. Okay, let's step aside for a second. I have something I want to talk about. I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about your sense of style. It's just, well, you look more like a high-flying businessman than a police officer.
That's right. You're an entrepreneur of the peace, here to disrupt legacy law enforcement with buzzwords and privatization schemes.
There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's just a little much. You know the expression, the clothes make the man? The right outfit in the right situation can make all the difference in the world. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, detective.
A warm smile.
Anyway, we should probably get back to the case. Let's go.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor set like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman. You use the small mirror and the straight razor. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you. The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger. Make you almost look like a professional. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see As you look at the floorboards. In this corner of the edge of a floorboard next to it looks scratched. Hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks like more reeds. You stick your hand in and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like outside. A small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A bullet. A 9mm bullet, to be exact. Fit for all muzzle loaders of that caliber. The floorboard doesn't care. But maybe the washerwoman does. You have enough to confront her with. It's extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops.
Yes? Yes. I don't know what to say. Perhaps, I'm not really sure about this turn of events. I think the mutton chops might have been a better idea. They sort of seem to cover up some of the...
Damage. Yeah, damage. He means damage.
Either way, good on you. You were saying?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. Damn that girl.
And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under pressure.
A bullet? You didn't put it there, did you?
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant, and not a stupid one either. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. We welcome all kinds of people here. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into, that girl?
That's for the police to find out. Right then, please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few.
Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think.
She probably heard the lieutenant's Kanema drive by, and it woke her up, just like it did you.
Yes, that is a downside of having a 130 kilowatt engine. It lets the bad guys know when you are coming.
I cleaned it, like I always do. No,
The truth, sire.
she's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation. So I really appreciate that about her.
Did she talk to you much during her last stay?
No, she was mostly silent this time. She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room. How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun. Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape milieux she'd made. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that.
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. I heard her rushing in those heavy boots, heading up north.
It's a peninsula. She might be trapped.
You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived.
I wouldn't worry about that, man. We are persistent.
Are you sure you would rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire going in the heater? Seems like a better idea to me.
The Feld electric mural. You feel like you should go look at it again. Step closer this time.
What more do you want to know about that? Yes, one thing, officer. If you do find her, Please go easy on her.
She really means it. It's an honest plea.
She's a good girl. Whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing 10 meters. A cold behind the... There's no way the perp is in here, officer. Look how scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off have failed. Not this time. The opposition is insurmountable, but I like the spirit. Have some points. It's lonely and cold without points.
The suspect? God, I hope not. I can't see a way in, though many have tried.
You see, a once bright mural, a slogan used to intertwine with the... Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking, and felled electrical. How ironic. All these dark rooms. Felled Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower maybe.
Why single out this one building? Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And now you're just standing there with your hands fallen to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography, at least. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place, I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. An adventure awaits. An adventure on the windswept urban coast. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath. In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the
She's down there.
Okay. Why? Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails. An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the felled building? A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access. Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder. At first, you can't make anything out in the darkness at all. As your eyes adjust, you see some trash, crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side. And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around. And it's right here, a maintenance door.
It's jammed shut. The subtle approach isn't going to work on this one. Oh yeah, big boy time. This needs you to put your back into it. You and the lieutenant lean all your weight into pushing the doors.
Let's take a breather and try this again later.
A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180? Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead, what if you were to do something more subtle? What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder? Yeah, because falling from that height seems, well, splat.
Teleportation is not a thing. This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here. Oh yes, it could hurt a lot.
He is restraining himself from using a parental tone with you right now. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear,
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside.
Don't go adventuring with a backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for...
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get this door open.
It's much easier from this side. The panels on the rails slide once you dust the sand off. With the help of your partner, from the other side, the door...
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that. Yes, time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound.
Not running is a great way to do that. A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. The lights of Martinez shine coolly in the clear night.
It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages. Indeed, no one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control.
In fact, I think we're done with this bunker. After you, officer.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
You think we should finish running it now? Maybe you're right. It might not be as useful later.
It's a minor point. Don't worry too much about this. There are bigger fish.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Yes. There won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but...
If you must.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways. That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shield yourself from it? It's an entirely new type of experience. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Really now? Check this out.
You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain.
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing. It's the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers.
She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
The pale? It's the end of the world. I built it myself.
And she's proud of it too. As she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. No, once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream. Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not the cops. And
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Turn this.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
she's carrying a 2-barreled front loader. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, maybe. Be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back.
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hardy for one.
This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? My boys? I don't even understand what you're trying to get at here. Oh, doesn't even matter. How could they be my boys when they're not even my friends? Those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like.
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
Does she mean that you're not a person whom other people like?
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them. A little.
What shit? I told you I didn't do it. Sounds pretty simple to me.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I don't think she's perjuring herself. She didn't hate him, okay?
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do. I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you. Like fuck I did. I was in all the time. Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain. No. Not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardun. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city.
Somewhere on the outskirts of Forburg, a scrawny teenage girl stands by the side of the road.
Why? Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries. Not murder mysteries either, if that's what you're thinking.
She looks you in the eye, impassively.
The fuck do elevators have to do with anything? Not particularly. I'm not really into old shit for old shit's sake.
God damn it!
Don't know it, but also...
Evaluating your competence as a police officer.
The shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
And the gun store, Trigger Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
A knocked-away 80 front loader. 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing. Yeah, evidence. Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. Along with Claudia. It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, as I said before, the shot had to have come from afar. No. Gifts of flowers and candy aren't really my style. Nope. I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hothouse's worth of flowers has to die too. No, I did not. So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician.
That really comes as a blow to her. Maybe twist the knife, just in case. Make her more desperate.
Yeah, that figures. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking?
She's more upset than she lets on.
Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the union.
She deliberately avoided naming the mob she worked for. You might be able to find this out later.
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used for self-defense against serious scum.
There. It's going to be easier to reach the machine now.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum.
There's a sinister note in her voice. Even with the gun and the compressor, she's afraid of me.
Yeah? Where?
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it. Problem solving.
Ma'am, put the gun down.
Oh, yes it is.
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself. So why is it not coming to you? Because you've been going around pointing a gun at yourself, trying to answer the same question in vain. Her finger squeezes the trigger now. A smirk crosses her face as she watches you stand there, mute. Then, you watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair. The trap stands empty. Locust, they're not
Good. Don't answer.
He doesn't.
Hello, dear. Thank you.
Her smile,
Morel still isn't feeling well.
her voice.
Morel,
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud.
that
Very strange.
different.
Answering a question with a question, for example.
It's,
And when
do you
hunch,
see Morel?
a terrible sting in the heart.
No, but
He's hiding. These things are tough on him. Matters of love, not violence or deceit. An acorn,
it is. If I had,
you know, this reminds you of the Pericanasian theory of love.
but if I would,
She has to swallow to relax her throat.
maybe. What?
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty.
A true. Either way, I should go. Oh no, thank.
Really?
Oh,
No one can stop you from finding the fat.
okay.
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need
You too, sweet.
a waste of a lie. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside,
We should go.
somewhere.
Ah, smallest church in Saint-Saëns, right? Cool. Got the 20 rand. Then why are you wasting another thing? Great. I love those. Oh, okay, well...
He's really... It takes a lot of willpower not...
Okay, what is back there? Ha! I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came... I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean. No, I was just wondering...
He was wondering about something business-related. About how much money he could make of one.
Those machines are whirling property. But if it makes you feel any better, it wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here.
Yeah, those numbers he's adding up must be making good sense to him, right? He should still know. You have to be forewarned about these things.
What? Why would you say that?
So he knows of the doomed commercial area and its address.
I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the Whirling. Does this look like part of a doomed commercial area? This pre-revolutionary tile work? For 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and through sleet.
He's done a fine job too. Though he's spoken of the place dismissively before.
Yeah, it's slowly growing on me again. Even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area. Yes, your police skills have delivered. I'm sure you'll get a commendation, maybe even a promotion. Some real estate management company, they never come around here. Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? Hail, Holy Queen, by...
Good pick.
What about them? One is a basement dive frequented by chain-smoking communists.
He's hesitating, not sure if he should share this information with you.
The other is a kebab cart. It's very successful in its way, but luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs.
Against the doom, it's implied.
So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me about my establishment... What wall? I'll have it fixed at once. Thank you for letting me know. I assure you, the Whirling does not abide spying on its guests.
The color has drained from his face. What a shame to fix such a good peephole.
Absolutely not. Fuck you for even implying it. It wasn't me. It wasn't my stuff.
Well, he's definitely not lying. He would...
Sir, he was only asking a question. It's his job and mine. See that it's covered.
Yes, I absolutely will. Sorry, it's been a bit of a day. And now a hole in the wall. Thank you, I'll patch it up personally. Was there something else about the establishment? I hope not. Yes?
Our tenant, the policeman. I can't.
Hell no.
I could use a brief.
Well, must say, nay.
Because she's blind.
This
She's
There was.
would you now? I know
Enough of this. She better start talking.
there's not.
I see him.
You should look around. As you look at the edge of a floor, hollow space underneath the floorboard, you stick a small, a 9mm, the floor, it's on the table, you see a bowl of your hand shakes.
Our tenant down.
And without
But you did.
Gone and yes. As I chicken,
That's for the police to find out.
I cleaned it. No,
The truth. She...
Yes.
She's...
Did she told?
No, she tried not to let it... How would I know? Not that all...
She may simply...
I don't.
It's...
You...
I wouldn't worry about that.
Are you...
Valve electric.
One thing of...
She really means it.
She's a...
Tequila sunset. My Jack?
A look of...
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila? Rosemary?
Aye.
That's...
It become... I'm calling it.
That shit is...
It's an okay jacket, if you are into that look.
Of course, not much. This, I've
A shovel hits the sand.
all kinds. I've seen archaeologists, some of the first...
Wait.
I'm not even sure I should be... Okay, there was...
He existed.
Anyway.
A paradigm-shattering revel.
But then, something turned. You've got now.
Right. Wrong. All...
Hey, apparently... But the story doesn't end there.
That's wrong.
That's right. There are those...
The cocaine scar.
No. Here, that's... Or...
No, my grand...
This is Ludi.
My only question is...
The archaeology...
Bullshit.
I'm...
And why wouldn't they?
Don't...
No, my...
Or maybe...
In the pyramid?
They're pretty... The
Honest.
By now, I'd say I know about... Whoa.
What?
For one, it's just...
I have to... Besides, it...
Wait.
I can't really remember...
It's a tut. He really has no idea who this...
Okay. I've been meaning... It's just...
That's right. You're an entrepreneur.
There's not... You know the expression, the... Let's not...
A war.
Anyway.
The trap is poor. A few pause. You see, a slogan used to above felt there's something
In there?
Why single out this one building, even though you're sure you trying is
I'll do. And anyway, we do it the old. Then if
walk an advent, buckle up and raise your collar. Suddenly, in through.
Okay. Why? Right.
Finally,
Perhaps
there. An old building like your eyes slowly. The lieutenant looks over your and as your eye and
given, however, and it's
oh yeah, big boy. A rusty,
yeah.
the distant in addition, The first, not to mention, what if you were, yeah, because falling from,
Teleportation is not a thing. This really... Oh yeah.
he is restraining himself from using a parent. All you need to do is close your eyes. Zoot, zap,
Oh my...
bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical.
You know,
The wind,
Never mind.
two rusty metal plates. The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that. Yes. Time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound.
Not running. A mustachioed and mutton. Yeah, someone.
Yes,
The lieutenant.
half a century. I think the purpose. We have found...
Good hiding place for.
I won't stand in millions of depictions of... You mean like...
There it is again.
No. What do you mean? I don't feel it, but... We should still be careful. No.
It's not a quib. The situation is dangerous.
Looks like our suspect. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will...
You will. Keep calm.
I leave that to...
He just can't. If you must.
You think...
It's a minor point. Don't worry.
Well...
If you can't.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You have.
Or maybe not.
Suddenly, your entire body is practiced.
I know you can't say it's a...
As she says the word, No, buddy. That's not... Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
No, I'm using a...
The X blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my... A pale signal so precise at the up...
She likes telling you about the machine.
The pale? I built it myself.
And she...
That's it. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. Yeah, let's not...
So she thinks of you as...
If you've got some... God damn it, fine.
She's... Well, there's only... Be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time. You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quite... She looks at...
Oh, fuck it.
She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other... You know. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth. Gratitude, doubt. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness. Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. It's like a...
I know you can't say it.
As she says the word, no, but don't focus on the pain.
No, I'm using it.
The X blasted from...
Saw my... A pale signal so precise at the up...
She likes telling you about...
The pale? I built it...
And she...
That's it. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, yeah, let's not...
So she thinks of you...
If you've got... Goddamn fine.
She's... Well, there's only... Be careful when you make your move.
I heard you, so you found my...
Her tone is bitter. She thinks...
So...
As opposed to the...
This could have...
That's her admitting...
No. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No. Oh, but she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? My boys? What? I don't even... Oh.
$8.
How the fuck...
Does she mean that you're not a person whom other people like?
I did, didn't I?
That did make her forgive them. A little.
What shit? I told you.
A strong moral compass.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries. Yeah, sure.
I hate to... She didn't...
Plenty of broken... I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress. Like fuck I did. I was in all the time. Look, fuck you, man.
She's speaking.
Wow. Now I'm curious. No.
Somewhere on the outskirts of...
Why? Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested. Not
She looks you.
The fuck? Not particularly. I'm not really...
God damn it!
Don't know it.
Evaluate.
The shot could...
She has a point there.
And? The gun's trigger-happy jacks. What did you think? Sure don't.
A breech load?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
A knocked-away 80 front loader. Two-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, Yeah. Evidence. Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean the views? It's very powerful. I used it to tune into... Yes, I'm sure. And no. Nope. I never did. No, I did not. So...
That maybe twist the nut.
Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What...
Beneath it, she's relieved Tommy didn't betray her.
Man, it's...
She deliberately...
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty...
There. It's going to be easier to reach the machine.
Based on what I've heard about you?
There's a sinister note.
Yeah? Where? How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes. her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
This woman has seen people OD. Glacia wasn't quite there yet, so why worry?
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
She looks shaken. She wasn't surprised to be ratted out, but framed.
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy boys.
Glacia knew exactly what she was doing. You can't remain calm under pressure otherwise. She lied to you about that, too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide. She doesn't want the guilt.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me. I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
So this is what she was scared to tell Titus. This cop, that strange, distant fear is getting close now. It's a fear of yourself.
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Everyone in Jamrock, the cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie. Agent to La Puta Madre.
So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the tape. Criminals make up bogeyman stories about cops all the time. All of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared of you. I don't know. Sounds pretty convincing to me.
Right. Sure. You don't know. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
A man in a white suit walks through a garden coaxed from soil that had rows and rows of poppies, most of which have lost their pink bloom, flank his steps. Taking out a knife, he crouches at the end of one flower bed. He scores a seapod, very gently.
You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
Wait, one thing. Possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway? Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had 2 guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either. One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was the only one in uniform. All were carrying. That sound about right?
No idea who these people are. Literally. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Miller. We could either take a room here in the whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstein. He can give us a ride.
Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can go find your friends. Unless you have anything pressing to ask me. What bunker? Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer. You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It's...
All good, officer.
She looks at...
Oh, fuck it.
She's truly... You know. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth. Eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Gratitude. Doubt. She's still ready to go. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
Good call. I would have done the same, had I not been incapacitated. Her tent. We should check it out.
Plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used to camping out. The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. You pocket the worn brown leather journal.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Six crumbling petals rest on your palm.
This is the Insulindian lily. called Mabel's or Lucille's tears during the Revolution.
This flower is a spring flower, but it's a...
The revolutionaries, so the communards and the anarchists. It's about girls and boys more than sides. Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. Maybe. Maybe not.
The petals feel dry and water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. You rub your sides for warmth, but the inland, above the Martinez distributary, the wrinkled fingers of an old man crush flower petals, then sprinkle them in the stream like white salt. Wait, have you noticed there's a war veteran playing a ball game on the plaza? You should ask him about the flowers. A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around. It's made of full-grain leather. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in. It's a mix of logistical notes.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good.
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor. Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them. The way some of those question marks trail off into ellipsis. She was going through a tough time. Staff issues. Always tough on the leadership. You smell traces of betrayal. The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense? That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M though. La Puta Madre. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th. Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching, but also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? The call? Did M call her personally? Why? Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. The entry ends abruptly. The most recent entry is from today. Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed.
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting, he thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than we does. Especially if she has problems with the Madre. No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure. The head of a major Jamrock gang, specializing in drug production and trafficking. A very bad person.
He's not 100% sure you're not indebted to this very, very bad person.
Could have been Titus. Then again... Maybe there's a Hardy boy we've yet to meet who acted as his accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling in rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Now that you've acquired some stim, you raise the peptide bottle, press one nostril closed, and inhale furiously with the other. The rush is almost immediate. It tastes bitter and caustic, and stings a bit inside your nose. Now the taste is slowly receding into your throat. The rush is growing in intensity, your little heart pounding like a bird in a... And, let's be honest, there's a little chest pain. The good kind, of course. You may want to blast a nosophed or something. You could work with this high. Like, literally work. Solve the case. Whoa, this shit is strong. This shit is disco. To this? You kidding? There are downsides to not being on it. There are massive downsides. It's a potent neurotoxin.
I'm not your mother. I don't care. Do what you have to do.
As long as you remain functional, he thinks. Now, let's get back to work. Spring, spring. Everything is clear around you.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a speed button. Speed gives +1 to motoric skills. Perception, reaction speed, hand-eye coordination, savoir-faire, interfacing, and composure. This is good before a white check, but damages your morale.
Yes? I'm glad to hear it, Detective. If you ask me, and I hope we don't even need to discuss the street drugs you've been abusing. Why are you pronouncing it like that? You know what? Forget it. What's... next I suppose you're going to tell me you need... Fascinating. In any... You know who might... If I were trying to get in touch with the coalition... now, what's the...
Is there something in the
I don't see it, lit. To war. Truthful, it's not
It does look extreme.
those.
Tio Motiri was a Revacholi. Nothing is unimportant. There. It's late. Smoking. Old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown us.
From here to the whirling, I can't see how. The church is in the way.
old woman. There's a gap where the name of that song should be. You should ask her about it.
Yes, I can't really sleep anymore. My suggestion is don't. Don't go any older than you already are. A lullaby my mother used to sing. Surrender to the night.
That's kind of grim for a children's song.
Yes, it does.
Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Why does she care about the waves so much?
What is it with waves and fishermen? We need to be out there with them. But until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can. So, what will it be, officer? I'll just keep the Corda Lacey in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier. Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty?
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
Oh, jetty, oh, jetty. It's good to see you here, detectives.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the Cordelate red. Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is.
What is this? Destruction of property, hooliganism, elder abuse, and who is this scamp?
No need. Lillian and I are getting on much better. For one, she appreciates the concept of rent. How do I like it?
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name, all the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there? I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
All right. Politics time. Real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head.
Oh, I'm not frightened, officer. I'd never...
Above you, there forms a quilt of altocumulus clouds. Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revan.
Have I told you how they discovered this place? No, they're in Celindian, Isola. I'm guessing you don't know then. Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty. I knew you would sympathize. Most Revacholians will never know what this place means. Our home. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
Do we?
I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. Maybe there is something else I can assist you with, while you're hot in pursuit. By love, you did.
Fast, observantly, like an electronic printer. She is memorizing your badge number.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification.
The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Tiafreta?
Stop. Now. It is time. Crisis. Death. You can feel it in your blue soul. Be prepared. Make sure you have your pepper box in your hand. Your fingers reflexively reach for the Villiers 9mm pistol in your pockets.
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your back.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right?
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. His fingers reach for the butt of his sidearm. There's something very wrong with him. Shh.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kypt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Courty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it. Peaceful. Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible.
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss something like this?
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all. Heavily armed. The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
Pig fuck!
Oh, people are gonna die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to see.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, the grip of your sidearm feels comforting and warm in your hand. Feels like it's saying, do it. Shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him before he shoots you. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up first. I'm barely keeping you together here. This is it, the big one. If you talk to him, he will rattle you, not the other way around. Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
Yeah? Who did that? How fucking convenient.
His fingers are twitching. That's a draw reflex. He's about to draw.
You think I'm fucking stupid, cop? What if I just shot one of your pals? How about the kid? Tell me. It's a magic fucking sniper. What?
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead cop marshal won't decide who...
He's gonna do it. He's gonna shoot her. The Hardy Boys confessed to hanging him, all together. Titus said, we took him out back and hanged him. He said it loud, in a public place.
You're lying. DePaul heard it.
A Kiel Model 40 revolver, 8 rounds in the barrel. The gun slowly sways him.
You heard wrong. She and these men have been helping us find the shooter.
Fucking liars.
The shot rings in your ears, a low, tinny ring. The young woman stands and looks behind her. The shot has flown over her head, crashing a small pane of the glass window.
I missed.
Not true. He purposefully over-aimed and shot the window. You had him second-guessing himself, only for a second.
I know what I heard, Corty. They said they killed him. They said it was a good way to end a Sunday night.
That doesn't sound good. You need to change the topic. What topic? Shots have been fired. Act before it's too late. This was a close call.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks? She's gone, you stupid fuck. Sailed off 5 minutes ago.
Stay cool! Don't do anything stupid!
The company bitch is gone. Layla's gone. Fuck are we still doing in this shithole?
Guys, I just get in the way. I don't even have a gun.
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
They're afraid. All of them. Trembling reeds in the wind. They'll run, scatter soon. One by one. No, the rest will stay. They will hold their ground, even if it means dying here with you.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer. Owen Cloven. He doesn't talk much.
All of you cunts inside out. open.
Perhaps it's for the best. Him not talking too much.
The gunner. The raddest. The killer. What do you think he does?
There, on the rim of Owen Clerven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 90, about 50 little stick figures. All of them black, plus 2 little white ones in the end. These men served in Seminine, the native islanders. The 2 little white figures in the end are from when they moved to Revachol. They're recent.
That's right. Plenty of kids here in Revachol, too.
T, let's fucking do it.
Easy. Easy now. Alright, here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Granell would never sanction this. Who's the commanding officer? Take your pick. I have some trivia, too. Get him interested in facts. You only have time for one argument. Choose wisely.
I am a Granell Major with over 15 years of live combat experience. When my colonel gets hanged by clay monkeys, I lead the platoon on a retaliation strike. Nah, I just have the biggest gun.
Technically, the other man has the biggest gun, but we're beyond that now.
You're right, but you see, I want it to end in bloodshed.
Okay, it's not much, but he's thinking about something else, and his hand is off the gun. This did something. Now fire. Fuck them up. Do it. The muscles on your back tense up.
Who the fuck is that?
Glacia, the woman upstairs. Where is she?
She left!
Unarmed, hunched, but keeping it together.
She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
You can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then the fear takes over and he's back in the moment.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
She's gone. Forget about it now. Concentrate on this.
Yes. So what?
Yeah? So what? You should be drunk too. Or, like, drunker. You don't want to die sober, do you?
All right. Let's do it.
That didn't work at all. He's more focused now. Of course, nothing bad will happen. Talk about his dead friend. He seems stable enough to take it. Even better, it will further destabilize him, cost him time, and maybe even lives.
Don't fucking talk to me about my brother, Loincloth.
Okay, yes. Immediate failure. Things are worse now. He's observing your every motion carefully. A plume of smoke and fire erupts from the gun, and your hand goes numb from the explosion. There is a hole in his cheek. Blood gushes out as he stumbles backward, eyes filled with rage, and his lips, moving, swollen with fear, are trying to say, shoot him, but he can't. To your right, The killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady, but the long barrel of the rifle sways. An Easter AR-FA7, built for taking out light armored vehicles. It will devastate you. You leap left. A swarm of angry men passes mere millimeters from your side, tearing fabric off your coat. Feels like the lightest of tucks. The man tilts his head, trying to see through the clearing smoke for the next shot. Watch out. To your left, DePaul is about to take a shot too, at Kim.
God, please.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. An extremely difficult shot. 2 shots ring at once. One from the lieutenant's pistol, and the other from DePaul's. It's aimed at the lieutenant, but it misses. You hear a scream with Glenn dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like red geysers. You see 2 crazed eyes stare at you through all the smoke and the panic. With blood gushing from his face, the man raises his pistol at you. Then he squeezes the trigger. The look of vengeance, framed in blood, lips shaking. This is the last thing he'll do on Earth. But he will do it. Here it comes. Death. You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a rag doll. Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain.
You're bleeding out.
Yes, keep talking. Stay awake. Look at me.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy. A slender white shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising her pistol at him. Scream immediately. He's gonna die. No, you say, and hand out your firearm to him. Your hand trembles and your eyes are full of fear. That's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves like a spring unload. You hear a faint scream.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
The fight? There is no fight. He's not taking it. And rotting.
He can't go. There is a radio in the distance.
Hours turn to days.
The engine of a Caprice Canema.
No, it was him. He is the infernal engine.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain. It's nothing. You're alive. That's what matters.
Sunrise, Parabellum. It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Dramamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears off.
Dramamine? Then it's not that bad. Neither surgical nor organ damage bad, but still under-the-counter bad.
Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day. 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse. And drink water. Sunrise, Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolutionary saying.
Isn't that written on your...
It served you well. The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt, I am relieved to say. I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely. Yes, we have also completely failed. But that's okay. What happened? You shot the major in the face. A firefight ensued. Yes. As retaliation, the rifleman tried shooting you. He missed, or you dodged. Then I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. Glenn did not survive.
This is not the first person to die in his place.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo did not make it. They both died before they made it to intensive care. Titus survives. So do Alain and the musician. I forget his name. Yes, he's still alive too. You were bleeding out. You said something, I don't know what. And you warned me. I was able to disarm Officer De Paul before she got the jump on me.
Thank you.
I killed her. And that's what happened. De Paul was the last to die. Everard had their bodies returned to Crenel for a funeral. The company is yet to retaliate. Because we deterred them? Or Joyce did? Maybe the harbor in full lockdown is too costly a target. Or maybe they are simply taking their time and will attack soon. I don't know. This is the one. 3. Glenn, Theo, Angus. The fat one, he took a lot of bullets. And Theo, he was just too old for combat. All. Yes, officer. 7 people are dead. It's not a success. But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized. Yet. And we are still alive. Both of us.
He did not expect you both to survive once you stepped between those two armies. His smoking, his hunched back. You have it worse, but he took a real beating. That cigarette has medicinal purposes.
Reasonably bad. You were shot in the left quadriceps. That's your thigh. The outer side, thankfully, no major arteries were nicked. The bullet was removed and a bacterial infection treated with mercurochrome. We will see.
If it's possible, then by pure willpower alone, you are going to have to become a psycho-locomotor.
Good. You'll need to be. Whatever that is. No.
A man and a woman sit in the front seat of an armored motor carriage. The woman is driving. The man lights a cigarette. Jean Vicmer, back to that shithole, he says.
I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site. I'm sure they're worried about you.
That means he hasn't seen them around while you were out. They're not really worried about you. If they were, wouldn't they be here?
I don't know.
He may have some idea, but he's not gonna get into it with you.
I did. No need. Not very. I have a concussion from that woman beating me with the butt of her gun. I tried to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see her coming. Stupid of me. Easy now.
You can take it. Just don't lean on that leg of yours too heavily. Your balance is way off. You feel like you're about to fall over on that thing.
How are you? Your disco days should have been done quite a while back, Lieutenant Liefreiter. I honestly don't know. We can't talk to Everard. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now, and Joyce has left too. Yes, she left yesterday morning, to meet the board of Wild Pines, or that is what I've heard. There's a pin somewhere in the machine that keeps Connell from sending in a death squad. Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone, and Classio too. We really should have arrested her, you know? I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone within the circle is either dead or gone. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. Don't be narcissistic. Half the cops in Revachol West are his peonies. Even if you are, it is not a decisive factor in this case.
That does make some sense.
What? Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to keep everything.
He's wrong.
Okay. I don't know. That's been there for years. Yes, God cursed the footprints, not solving the case for us. Au diable. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else?
See? There's that. You can do ballistics.
We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full of them.
He does not know what to reply. Looks out of the window. It's morning outside. You think. He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
It really is very hard.
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
No. Are you ready to limp? Good. Where do you want to limp to?
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates imperceptibly. A familiar cold, a red thread on the roof upstairs. Taut.
Why not? Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't think of anything better.
These papers
I had Gart open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night. It would have been easy were it not for my concussion. We both got lucky, consider. I am sure neither of us feels solid in.
The fan stands. Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift? I am not drawing my gun, yet, but I don't like gifts.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his holster as he studies the note. Just don't walk into another radio trap, okay? Relax. Not everyone is out to trap you.
It's hardly surprising.
You look at her rough, jagged handwriting on the note. She was in a rush, but not panicked. The medicine cabinet. Pity.
Of course you were. How the amphetamine? Does it make you a better detective?
There is little condescension in his phrasing. More measured curiosity.
I was just curious. Anyway, let's go.
see the same two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman, only now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
A ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside, A prime, to then widen into a radius of locations in Martinez, B prime, B double prime. It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof, B triple prime, the island in the bay.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point. I remember. She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass.
She had a long time to think about it after, standing on that roof, staring at the glass.
It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her? I find that hard to believe, but at this point, what difference does it make? So it is.
For a second he seems tired.
I just haven't gotten a lot of sleep these past few days.
He doesn't really believe this will yield anything. The lead is flimsy. You might as well go around Martinez looking under every rock and talking to every person. But what else is there? There, across the grey water, amidst crumbling concrete, a birch tree and the half-sunken ruins of a flak tower.
Not a lot, no. Could be the makings of a sniper's nest.
Why not? Military fortifications are made for that kind of thing.
Of course. I mean, how do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone. Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you. You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. I give credit where credit is due, and that, sir, was a nice shot. I was watching until you hit him. Crawled inside then. Bullets started flying. Anyway, I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not. It just felt I needed to specify that. Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business. I don't remember everyone who comes here. And many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a... Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's because I'm a badass. Yeah, well, fuck you too then. You have any more questions or stylistic pronunciation advice?
He's not too offended. The experience has changed something in him.
No problem. They'll come back. They always do.
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme. Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sport.
Bye-bye, gendarme. Hi again, gendarme.
It's the sports. He's a sports guy.
Hi again, gendarme.
It's the
Bye-bye, gendarme.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises his bear in welcome.
Crazy motherfucker. Didn't think you had that fury in you. But I guess I've misjudged a lot of people lately. That was one hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. The fucks did not expect that. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, thank you for intervening, fellas. That was mighty brave of you.
This is big. It's as big of a thank you as Titus Hardy can muster under any circumstances.
Well, cheers anyway, Copper. Theo was old. I think he'd be pretty happy with the way he went. Never could imagine him withering away on a sickbed. But Angus, he was just a stupid kid. Didn't realize the mess he'd gotten into. Trusted me. Still, the balls on that kid. Went down fighting for someone else's shit like a fat, angry bear.
Here it comes. The last one is the worst one. He only deals with it by drinking copious amounts of 8% beer. An honest tactic, and effective.
And Glenn was my friend. Best I've ever had. I love that crazy homo like my own brother. We're all fucked without him. But what do? This job is shit. Dennis, you saw him run. He's a mean little shit and I never trusted him. He'd better run real fast now. Real fast.
Titus makes no attempt to hide his disgust. Grief-stricken anger boils in him.
Well, yeah. Memento Mori, right?
Memento Mori, or remember that you must die, is a slogan various religious orders have thrown around since the dawn of mankind to emphasize the vanity of earthly life and the transient nature of all earthly pursuits. In essence, it means one should live virtuously in this life to live better in the afterlife.
Absolutely. Today, I'm going to get drunk, eat good food, and bed a good-looking girl. 'Cause tomorrow, a motor carriage might run me over.
Or you might die of a heart failure. Or syphilis.
Hey, fuck you for ruining a beautiful idea.
First, we're gonna find Dennis.
I'm going to find Dennis. I'm going to find him, and then I'm going to kill him.
The tone of the statement is so matter-of-fact. It's as though he were talking about picking up a morning newspaper on his daily walk around the block.
We're hunting that rat down. Let it be known what happens to cowards. And then, I guess I'll take a closer look at our union members. There's bound to be some ambitious fellows there who'd love nothing more than advancing social democracy by busting some heads. Might even ask Tibbs if he's tired of replacing windows, and maybe wants to have some fun with his brother. Anyway, don't you worry. As long as Titus Hardy's standing, there will be Hardy boys.
He's right. The numbers are replaceable. In an organization of thousands of men, there are plenty who'd join.
Don't know? Don't care. I'll be glad if I never see that fucking woman again.
He nods and takes another sip of whiskey.
Judging by the sight of you, I'd suggest crawling into bed with a bottle of whiskey in one hand and a big tit in the other.
Yeah, go pay Monica a visit in Janrock. She's got a knack for making men forget about their worries.
Hell, you both look like you could use some feminine company right now.
Thank you for your advice, Eugene, and you too, Alain. I do always appreciate a good use of the expression milkers.
You're welcome, Bina Claude. You're all right in my book. Take care, coppers. You two look after yourselves now. Death passed on you today, but men don't get that lucky twice.
Copo Loco. And normal cop, I guess. Good luck in Shamrock. Scars make the best tattoos, they say.
Thanks for getting involved, guys. Not a lot of cops would step into that line of fire, but you did.
And if you ever feel like the uniform is holding you back, I've got a few vacancies. You'd make one hardy boy, copper.
And Titus Hardy himself would make a good officer. That man was born to lead.
I will, capo. That's a promise. Now scoot, 'cause the Hardy boys got some mourning and drinking to do.
Take it easy on the drink. The danger has not passed. This town needs you on your feet.
Good point, Bino Claude. We'll keep the vol under 12% tonight.
Wow, so someone's been a little boring. Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown. No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry. Of course you do. Let's get right to it. My lord's copo type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. Yes, the type of cop you are, sire. Think of it as a caste, a class even, a nation of regular law officials that you belong to. Done and done. No actual communiques will be sent, of course. The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull. The lieutenant crouches.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? The fuel oil catches fire immediately with an ominous hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. The lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. Then the flames warmed him too. Not at all in a bad way.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same. The prick is gone. I can barely believe it.
He is trying to retain his jolly facade, but the underlying sadness casts a deep shadow over his wrinkled face.
I took them for myself. Took them to remember that old cunt. Nobody knew him better than I did. And I want to remember that old cunt by something.
Strange how old cunt sounds almost gentle when he says it now.
Yes. In peace. Everything, really. I probably knew him better than... You meant the teacup in the tree.
Teacup? Oh, because of the ceramic armor. Clever.
Mon Dieu! You set it on fire. What kind of a policeman are you? Oh, well, thank you, officer. It certainly lightened the mood. Very cozy, like a little street fair almost. Oh, so...
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? But he is missing. You heard her. The worry in her voice. There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found. Date of birth generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Something is wrong. Only static hisses through the... No reply.
It's been this way for a while now. My guess is the Union is listening in on our... It only happens when someone mentions the attack. The rest is unaffected. Our best bet is to carry on like nothing happened. That is, if we don't want us cut off the grid completely. No more dangerous than stepping between 3 armed mercenaries and 8 Union men, I hope. I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. The street seems safe enough to me. If anything, taking out the mercs made things calmer. You can try calling again. Just don't mention the Tribunal.
They're shutting you up, silencing you. Everything sounds okay. In the cabin, you see...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over.
Feels good to get that off your chest, right? Celebration with beer?
10-4, sir, roger that, and very glad to hear it. I will make relevant changes to the report. 10-4, sir. Well, there's been some talk, sir. I only meant that there's been some talk in the station, that's all. But there's always some talk in the station. You know how officers in Jamrock are. But then again, some of us truly are on the take. It's unfortunate. Over. 10-4, sir. Sorry, but I'm under orders to give a negative to request for personal information. 10-4. Orders are still orders. Anything else? Over. Roger that. 1010, over and...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a second. Sylvie Mal... Yes. Hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? No? Not me. No, sorry. People don't have the money to have...
So the Union has a phone.
Seems like Lacia wasn't lying when she said it was her.
Are you sure, Lieutenant? For some reason, you have a little doubt about that.
No, sorry. I don't. People don't have the...
So the Union has...
Seems like...
Are you...
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already... No one calls the police. You know...
Garbage.
I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Push her further. No, don't push her. It sounds as if she's about to cry.
I didn't know I had to report it. I thought someone would take him down eventually.
The fucking nerves on her. Trying to hide behind weakness. You're a god. An angry but just god.
Yes, I know. It's just... Was there anything else? Yeah, go on.
You hear the...
Anything else I can help you with, officer? It will take...
Her voice is...
Gottlieb, what you get yourself into this time? I didn't, but now I do. How's the drinking going? Great. Have a medal. I have an autopsy to attend to.
Fucking, I'm not dead. It just hurts, okay?
Look, pal, getting pumped and dumped is not a disease. You must have me confused for a close personal friend.
One needs tending to right now. You hear someone whine in the background.
Ah, it's you. Walking, talking, though. Great. Any other complaints? Oh, it's you. I know a woman skilled at that sort of thing over in Jamrock, but I wouldn't want to inflict you upon her. Best of luck, detective. Mm-hmm.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Yes. I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's E-L-L-I-S Kortenaer. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the East Brand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably Then the armor followed him to Semenine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol. It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
None, officer. Sorry.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice.
No problem, Lieutenant.
A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad.
A name. This is very good. Ellis Kortenaer.
Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox.
Wow!
A cop limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like hell? You know what that is? Cool! That's cool!